Welcome to the Coastal Business Channel. I am Laura. Looks like my eyes are closed. Sorry. Today we're going to talk about financial advisor training programs. I worked at Morgan Stanley, so I can specifically talk about their program. Merrill Lynch, Raymond James, Wells Fargo, they all have financial advisor training programs, and they're all going to be similar. Morgan Stanley's was a 36-month training program. I know that they were going to elongate it to 5 years. I don't know if they have yet or not. I would imagine that since they are, the other big firms will follow suit. So in the first 36 months, it's divided into basically two categories. There is the first category where you're doing your training. So it is, I think it's 4-month training program or 4-month section. Mine got elongated. I ended up having emergency back surgery in the middle of the training program. But that's when you're studying and you first have to take a test at the Morgan Stanley test and pass it. You have to take your Series 7. You have to get your 65. And then so that's like the first thing. So once you get your 7, you're allowed to make phone calls. Then you get your 65, and then you kind of graduate this 4-month period. And then you're in month 0. And month 0 doesn't count as a production month, or you're in production, right? So before that was pre-production, get your license. Then you're in your production months, and you're expected to get clients. So again, the numbers have all changed, and they will continue to change from you watching this video. But when I started, you had to, that first 12 months, so you had month 0, so it was really 13 months. You had to have $25,000 in revenue, in gross revenue that you brought on, whether it was advisory or transactional. And I think that actually changed to $35,000 before I left, not my class, but a class after mine. Sorry, I'm just kind of like looking at my shirt. It looks a little funny. I'm like, did I do it right? Anyway, so, so when you start in month 0, like you have to get clients and you have to start like crazy, like calling. So that first year is 25. Now within that first year, I also had to get my insurance license. And then at some point I had to get some mortgage credential to be able to refer mortgage business to our private banker. But honestly, the pre-production months of getting all your licenses is a lot of studying. You have a lot of flexibility. I was able to study from home. I was able to study from my bed since I couldn't sit anymore. And then your post-production, there are certain, like there was like PS1, there was like a class I had to go to in Westchester. The second year class that I was supposed to go to was canceled because of COVID. And so there's a couple of things that you have to do for these classes, but mainly I would say after the 4 months, after the pre-production, it's all about revenues. I mean, I really think that if you go into becoming a financial advisor and you think like, oh, I love Wall Street. Oh, I want to learn about this. Ooh, client acquisition, prospecting. Don't do it. I don't know what the failure rate is. At Morgan Stanley, it was fairly high, unless you came in and you were someone's son or daughter and you were on a team or your best friend was hiring you. There's a pretty high failure rate. You like literally get your licenses and then all it is selling. When you're in that training program, you're just selling 12 months a year, every single year. You have to get clients. I will tell you, I'm surprised I was successful as I was when I was at Morgan Stanley, because during that pre-production period, I hurt my back. I lost the ability to use and feel my right leg. I had emergency surgery. I think I was in bed for 2 months. I came back, I'm trying to do things. I couldn't sit down. I would not even know if I could drive in a car to get to the office. Forget about prospecting. I would show up at these meetings and I'd show up an hour early so I could take pain pills before I would sit down and go to these meetings. It was really crazy. And then I did do a lot of work from my bed because you just have your laptop and I have CNBC on and I have my phone, and it was very easy to do from my bed. I've actually been quite successful in the last few months. Now that I'm on my own, I'm like trying to grow my business and get more established on my own, and my back's fine, so I can actually sit down and I can try. I shouldn't say it's fine. It's not fine. I'm actually leaning against something now. I don't mention it in other videos. I don't like to. I can't stand for long periods of time. Can't really sit for long periods of time. Kind of have to shift around a little bit. But you have to be able to sell. So that training program, it is great. And this is what I would say. If you're on the fence as to like, oh, do I go on my own, or do I join my friend John, who's at John Smith Financial Advisory, Wealth Management, or whatever John Smith's company is called. Do I do that, or do I go to Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch, or what have you? I don't think I would be where I am today if I didn't go to Morgan Stanley. And part of it is I had that 800 number, or lots of phone numbers, where I can call up the estate planning group and the hedge fund group and I could refer a mortgage or what have you, where I could learn. And so as much as I came with a huge ton of knowledge, like a huge knowledge base, being an equity analyst and a derivatives trader, I didn't necessarily know the ins and outs of estate planning or tax planning. And so I definitely use Morgan Stanley to get all that information that's put me in a good position now. So if you're on the fence and you don't have all the knowledge you think you need, either make sure that where you're going, they have that knowledge and you can get it from them, or you know where to find that knowledge to get it yourself. Or use a larger firm, because they do have a ton of resources to get you up to speed pretty quickly on what it is you want to learn. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Most of the training programs are the same. You can find the information on their website. I do think it's a fabulous career, so good luck on your journey. Thank you.